Well, hello, y'all. It's Hidden Woman back with another video. If this is your first time here, welcome in. If you are returning, welcome back into the room. Don't forget to, if you like the content, to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I upload a video. Well, I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm not going to be before you long tonight, I promise you. I've got a full plate. I running on full throttle here lately and just got some stuff going on, but I wanted to make sure that I got this video done before I, just jumped off the bridge in these two projects that I have going on. The last video I was talking about relationships, and I'm going to continue because relationships, that is a vast topic. It's very broad because um, you have relationships in families, between husbands and wives. It's a marriage, but that's a relationship. Then you have the siblings. They have different relationships amongst one another. Sometimes they can even be best friends. Then you have relationships outside of your family. You have co-workers, and then you um, may attend church, and then you have made some friends there. And then we talked about, to me, there's also different levels of that. You have friends, you have acquaintances, and just people you see high and by. I guess that would be like an acquaintance, but even with that, an acquaintance might have a different level because you could be acquainted with somebody and not know them. Like I know, okay, I live in an apartment complex and there's a young man that works here, and I'm acquainted with him because he's an artist, and I have talked to him about that. So whenever I see him, I always speak, and he told me how he got saved, how he got to know the Lord, an awesome testimony. So I'm acquainted with this young man. Then there's another property manager, maintenance level here. When I see him, I stop and I just saying hello, just that I see them in passing and I speak to them. That's just the type of person I am. If you're close enough to me, I'm going to speak to you. That's just me. So you have those levels of relationships. But today I want to talk about the relationship where friendship is concerned. And I've always believed this: if you want a friend, you have to show yourself friendly. And trust me, there are a lot of people that don't know how to be friendly. Um, just out in the world itself, out just doing everyday life, you come across people. And I think that people have it in their mind because they don't know you, that they don't have to speak to you. And they really don't. But I just feel weird walking past people that close to me and not saying nothing. I mean, I don't have to know you to speak to you. And so some people find this strange, but I also find that if I'm out and about and I speak to people, more often than not, people speak back and even say, "Well, you have a good day," and or how you doing today? And I think sometimes when I speak to people, they are surprised. They're surprised that somebody is saying hello, and they're just as excited to say hello back to you, but just didn't initiate the hello, how you doing type thing. But that's a level, that's still a relationship to me, interacting with other people. So on the friendship note, I'm real funny. I'm real funny when, because I'm a loner, and as much as I talk, you think that I would be out and about around people all the time, but I am not. I have a very, very close circle of friends, and I mean, we're small circle. And then, when it comes down to best friend, um, I don't really have that. And you might think, oh, that's sad. Ain't nothing sad about that. I'm just not the type of person that likes to hang out with people. I'm just not. I've gone out to lunch with people. I don't have a problem doing that. But when I'm out and I'm interacting with people, you would never know. And at that time, I'm good, but I'm only good for a little while because then at some point, I'm like, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home and get quiet, and just be in my own space. I guess because I do so much stuff, crafting and stuff, that I just like to be home working on my stuff. And then if it's on a Sunday, I have decided Sunday is my day. When I come home from church, I'm not doing anything. I really just want to have lunch and lay down and rest because I run during the week. I'm busy during the week. And but I have a lady that I met who has become a friend of mine. And it started out as a, excuse me, started out as a business relationship, whereas I did some work for another lady that I know. She opened a restaurant, and I went in, and she wanted some help, getting things, ready for her opening. And so I wound up I did some painting, cleaning, upholstering, whatever I could do to assist her to get her business open. And a friend of hers saw the booths that I had reupholstered. And she said, "Oh, you bought new booths?" And she said, "No, a friend of mine reupholstered them." And I was kind of finished with that. So she said, "Would she do mine?" She said, "Well, I don't know. Let me call her," because she said that she retired from doing that. Yeah, I retired from stuff and come on back because I enjoy working with my hands. Anyway, the lady, she and I made contact on the phone. When when I called her, I knew right away that she was just a very friendly, non-phony person. And so I met up with her, and we worked it out. I got the chairs and I did the upholstery for her. She absolutely loved it, to the point she hired me as her decorator. And I have been working in her home. Once I got the chairs done, then she wanted me to help her decorate the dining room. And the dining room is complete. And here, actually, just a few days ago, I went in and did the bathroom, and I've still got some touch ups to do that. But what makes me feel good is that she loves it and her husband loves it. And so I get excited about that. So last month, she called me, and this is not something that I normally do. But we entered into our friendship last year. It developed into a friendship, to the point that she and I talk. We don't talk about like personal stuff, but she's just a very warm, friendly person. I feel that I could tell her something, it would stay right there. I wouldn't have to be concerned about it. She is an inspector, food inspector, and for Galveston County, and very meticulous, but very sweet lady. So one day she called me, after we met last year. So she called me, and she asked a question, and normally I'd be like, I'm gonna tell you what I would normally do. If you were the type of person, because I'm not like this, I will never call you just any old time of day and say, "Hey, what you doing?" That's not me. And I don't particularly have anybody that will call me and just say, "How you doing?" So I'm fine. What you doing? My response in my head is, "What do you want?" This particular time, she called me last month, and it was President's Day, so I didn't have a client that day to clean for. And so when she called, I sensed that she wanted something, but not like, "What you want?" No, it wasn't like that. I sensed that she wanted to talk about something. So when she called me, which was unusual because typically we talking about business, but the time that she called and everything just seemed a little weird because she was off that day. She works 5 days a week. And she said, "What you doing right now?" And I said, and I really wasn't doing anything. I was sitting here fiddling around with some of the crafts and stuff that I had. And I said, "Nothing, what's up?" And she said, "I want to take you out to breakfast." And I said, "Okay." And then she said, "Have you ever been to the Toasted Yolk?" And I said, "No, but we went. Oh, the food was good. Food was good." So anyway, we went, and she said, "Get what you want," and blah, 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 blah. So when halfway through the meal, she said, "I want to ask you a question." Then I said to myself, okay, I knew she wanted something because she just neither one of us are the type to say, to call out of the blue and just say, "What you doing? Let's go out to lunch." I'm not spontaneous like that. I'm really not. But like I said, I sensed that she wanted to talk about something. And that's what I like about the friendship that she and I are still developing, is that I kind of sensed that she needed to talk. And nothing personal, nothing confidential or whatever. Her husband wants to pay off the house and he wants to go um, and run. He's a truck driver and he wants to go out and be out for a certain length of time, and he just want to go because he wants to pay the house off so he can have more time with her. And I just love their relationship. I mean, we ain't gonna go into that part, but anyway. So she asked me what did I think about that, and I gave her my, what I would do if I was married, and my husband was like, "Babe, um, I want us to pay off the house. And the only way that we can do that is I'm going to need to run for maybe a good solid 6 months. What do you think about that?" And I'm the type of woman, I would jump on that in a heartbeat. I'm like, "You want to pay the house off? Okay, babe, what you need me to do?" And my thing, if you want to run, over the road for 6 months, and then I'm like, "Okay, if you get close to the house, you call me because I'll meet you. We go out to eat, whatever we need to do to get that, to make that thing work." And I was like, because ain't too many men coming up with them kind of plans. And then, because sometimes women just want to be clingy. "No, I don't want him to be gone that long." And I'm like, baby, if you want to pay the house off, and then that would give us some more time together. We can maybe do a little traveling. I'm all for that. So I thought it was an excellent plan. So she gave us some thought. And so anyway, that's what she talked about. And I was glad that she had enough kind of say maybe trust in me to talk to me about it, to ask me, and that I would give her an honest opinion and saying, "Girl, I don't know. My husband out there on the road for some 6 months. Ain't no tell." Because the fact that if she, and she decided to that would be a good plan. I'm like, you have to trust him. So, that's another level of relationship. That's a marriage relationship. So, I really like the fact that we have developing a friendship, that she kind of knows me. She's getting to know me and I'm getting to know her. And I find out that she's not a big talker on the phone. But me, otherwise, if you get me on the phone, if you trying to talk to me on the phone, we're gonna be talking for a minute, to the point where I have to make sure that I'm the one that shuts the conversation down, because I know she's not chatty like me. She can talk, but she ain't chatty as I am. And so I have to be the one. And see, to me, that's important to know that, okay, I know that I can talk and she's not as talkative as I am, but for me to have enough respect for her not to talk her head off, and to know that I don't want to ruin the relationship if I'm talking too much. And it balances out really well. So when you're in a relationship and a friendship, it requires work on both parts. I am not one for having the mindset that, we're friends and you ought to understand that I talk that much. No, that's being disrespectful. And I think, any relationship, I don't care if it's friendship, marriage, co-workers, whatever, if you don't have respect, I don't know what kind of relationship that is. Because those kind I don't participate in. I just don't. So I enjoy that about her. She's really, really a sweet friend. Doesn't require a whole lot of time and attention. And actually, I think we've been out to eat twice. And the first time that we went out, when I was doing her dining room, she and I went to Harwin's in Houston. Now, Harwin's is like Fifth Avenue in New York, where you go. It's the garment district. And we went up, and I was, making curtains and getting the fabric upholstery for her chairs. And so we drove to Houston. And at the time, I had only went one time, and I had a co-pilot with me. And then this is me and her first time together, so it was fun. And then afterwards, we got done shopping. We made it back home safely, and we stopped and we had lunch. And she was like, I done had you out all day long. It's time to eat. And so we ate, But I've known her for a long time. Last year, months, probably about maybe 6 or 8 months. She and I have kind of been acquainted with one another, and so I like that. But outside of that, I don't really see anybody in terms of on a Saturday, let's go have lunch, or maybe sometime on a Sunday after church, I might go and have lunch with, one of the ladies, we would go out and have lunch or something like that. But on a regular basis, like if you were to call me up Saturday morning and say, what you doing? Let's go have lunch. I would probably tell you, you need to give me some more. You need to give me some notice. I am not spontaneous like that. I just don't jump up and, unless again, like it was with her, I kind of sensed that she wanted to talk. And so, that sort of thing. But for the most part, I'm a planner. It's like I like to know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and how long I'm going to be doing it. And once I make my plan, I'm trying to stick to it. Like I had a plan this past Saturday. I had another friend that I'm helping her in her home. Well, I went there and I had noticed that my daughter had been asking me all these questions all week long. And I'm saying, okay, I didn't say anything to her, but in my mind, I was like, why she keep asking me where I'm going or what I'm doing? I'm like, what you want? But I didn't. But come to find out that my son, my oldest son, had a load. He's a truck driver. He had a load coming to Texas, and they were planning it so he could surprise me. And I was well surprised on Saturday. So, needless to say, that the other lady I was supposed to help, I called her and told her, I said, well, my son came into town out of nowhere. She said, you go right ahead and take. She said, we can do this another time. And so I was able to spend, pretty much the weekend with my son and my grandson and my daughter, because he didn't leave again until Monday morning. So then my daughter cooked dinner for us on Sunday. So it was a nice weekend. It was a unexpected nice weekend to spend some time with my kids and my grandson. Even though AJ is very, very quiet, he was there, but I still enjoyed his company. So that was a very nice surprise. Um, so spontaneous to my kids, yeah. To other people, not so much. So that's just kind of where it is. But um, the whole friendship thing, it requires work. Any relationship requires work. Could you imagine being in a relationship with someone and you don't speak to them for years, and all of a sudden they pop up, oh, I want you to come do this and I want you to come. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think so. And then how much do you know about each other anyway, that you've been apart for that long? Now, I have, I don't want to go too deep into too much anything, because, I had a cousin of mine post something on Facebook that I really liked. And he said, you can be on social media and still have a private life. And so I am very mindful of what I share on this YouTube channel, because I'm here to tell my story. And yes, sometimes my story includes other people, but I'm very careful about how I tell that story, not as to tell their business, depending on what the story is about. So, anywhere you look at it, I'm very mindful of that. But um, I just don't have a big circle of friends, but I do have a couple of people in New Jersey that I still have contact with here and there. But one friend of mine, she's been a friend to me for many many years, and we kind of have some nicknames for each other, Sister Lip and Sister Gab, because we both can talk. So anyway, I enjoy, and we don't talk on the phone that much either. But she called me one day and we chatted for a little bit. But that's still somebody in a close circle, a friend of mine. Um, I'm just not a big person that does a lot of socializing. I am pretty much to myself, and it's not that um, I'm shy, because I'm not. I've never been shy, but it's just, I don't know. You have people that are introverts, you have people that are extroverts. I am both at times. When I'm out and around people, you would never know because people have said to me when I told them that I would just rather be home, just relaxing, just me. And it was like, you don't seem like that type of person. You just seem like you just real social like. And I said, well, I am when I need to be and when I'm not. And it's not that I'm being phony because I remember years ago when the Lord had ministered to me and I told him, I don't know how I'm supposed to minister to people when I don't even like half of them. And, it wasn't that I didn't like the people. I just didn't like the way somebody is knocking on my door. Please excuse me. Hmm. Who is it? Who? Oh no, Verizon. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. Oh no, Verizon. Have a good day. I do not like solicitations of any kind. Excuse me for that. But if I didn't go answer, he'd kept on knocking. But maybe not. But anyway, back to relationships. I say that relationships. I forgot what I was saying. I'm scrolling, but maybe I'll be right back. But relationships require time and attention. And I'm the type of person that when it comes down to friendships and interacting, if I find that I'm the one that's always doing the reaching out, after a while, this girl stopped reaching because I just feel like if I'm an option, if I'm an option for you, but I make you a priority, then then Houston, we have a problem. I just kind of feel like it ought to be a mutual thing that um, I just notice if I'm the one constantly calling you and asking you out to, taking you out to lunch, and I don't mean on a regular basis. I'm just noticing that, okay, oh, for the past, 6 months, the only communication that we've had is the communication that I've initiated. And then I'll just back up. I just back up. And then if the relationship dies off, then that wasn't a relationship for me. And then there's some people that I just see on Sundays, and that's fine. Most of the time, that's when I see people is on Sunday. When it's time for church, I see people on Sunday. I have 3 clients that I clean for. I downsized my business. And the lady that I cleaned for on Monday, I cleaned for her mom, her parents on Friday. And then another client, these are clients that I had before the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit, I had 11 clients. And then the pandemic hit, it dropped down to 5. And then after my ex-husband passed away and I was taking care of Grammy, between those 2 situations, I shut down everything. And then Grammy didn't want anybody but me. And so I had to stay and take care of her. And then after Grammy passed, one of the clients called me, and that's how I started back. So she sent me a text the other day. Oh, I sent her a text and told her, I said, well, the mop decided it wanted to stop working today. And she has 2 dogs, Badger and Charlie. Charlie is a Labradoodle. No, he's a Retriever Doodle. He's a big old fluffy dog, and I don't like big dogs, but I love this dog. And the parents have Cora, his sister. But Badger was a rescue dog, and he was abused. So when I come near him, Badger takes off. He don't get close. So when I told her that the mop was broken, and I said, you could probably get a replacement on Amazon. She said, I'll look and get one. And she said, I've been meaning to ask you, does Badger realize that you are part of our family now, or is he still running away? And I said, well, I didn't know I was part of it. I can't say that because she's a young woman and she is a sweetheart because the day that I went to go see her to take a look at the house, I'm telling you, that girl, young girl, gave me the best hug. I mean, she's just genuine. And I know that we could be friends, but her schedule, my schedule doesn't, allow us to do anything. And then besides, I clean her house, but I consider her to be a friend. She's really sweet. And so, I've developed that relationship with her because we'll text back and forth. Something might happen and she'll text and we'll go back and forth about something. But and then her son, he was being the gentleman. When the first day I went back to clean, he was like, "Is there anything that I can get for you? Maybe some water? Can I help you?" And I told her about it, and she was like, "He don't ask me to help. He don't ask me, can he help me do anything around here?" I said, "Of course not. Your mom." So anyway, that's just another relationship that I have. And then with her mom, the relationship is more with her stepfather because mom, she's a night owl and she sleeps during the day, and then he sleeps at night and he's up during the day. And so, when I go in, taking the time to talk to him, how you doing? They got dogs. The dogs are like all over me. And I'm not a big dog person, but the one dog, Charlie's sister Cora, when I get ready to leave, she looking at me like, "You ready? You ready to go?" And so, and so he and we chat. And so, those are the people that I interact with during the week. And but like if I don't have a house on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm not interacting with anybody unless I'm out grocery shopping or running errands. And even then I'm always talking to somebody, not nothing lengthy or anything like that, but I'm always talking to people. There's a lady at Walmart. When she sees me coming down, she knows I does the tumblers and stuff, and she's just a sweet lady. There's a couple of ladies that know me because Walmart is like right up the road. It doesn't make no sense for me to go to Target when Walmart is right here. And yes, I'm a Walmart shopper. I just get dressed when I go. I'm not wearing my PJs. But anyway, the whole, relationships, you can develop relationships anywhere. And it doesn't have to be anything long term. To me, if I'm interacting with people or, excuse me, I go to the fabric store, there's a lady there that cuts fabric. Her name is Regina. Regina's been there for years. And do I have a relationship with her? You could call it that. I know her by name. She doesn't know me by name. And I've talked, and she's from Germany. And, we've had some conversations. So I know a few things. I'm acquainted with her. And when she's not there, and I'll say, "Well, where's Regina?" "Oh, she's on vacation." I'm like, "Okay, well, tell her Miss Charlotte said hello. She doesn't know my name, but she knows me when she sees me. And when she doesn't see me, obviously, she says, 'I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?'" And so the relationships, just relationships. And so, and I can easily build relationships with people that I come into contact with on a regular basis. I have a girl that, she cuts my hair. She wasn't available today. And yeah, I was supposed to get my hair cut this morning. She's been my hairstylist for probably the past year. And I'm the type of person, when you tell me what time, that's the time I'm looking for you for. So anyway, relationships, they all require work. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little snippet about that today. And I'm getting ready for the next one, which is I'm going to be talking about marriage. And I mentioned to you before, if you've been, watching any of my videos, that I was married, and I will be talking about my experience as a married woman and what I went through. And that is not to trash anybody or throw anybody under the bus. That's not what I'm doing over here. So that is going to be, I'm almost positive that's going to be my next video, is talking about marriage. So for now, I am done with this. I see it's been almost 30 minutes. I'm very mindful of your time, and I'm mindful of my time as well. And that's pretty much all that I have to say today. And you all stay blessed, be blessed, stay safe, and have an awesome week. Well, it's only Tuesday, but the weekend will be coming up soon. Have a good rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. Until the next video. God bless. Bye.